Hello folks, I'm Josh McGehee here with another edition of Thursday Thoughts with the Peacocks. This week I'm excited to be joined by the 165-pound national champion at the NCAA Division II wrestling level in the country here, Mr. Chase Luensman. Chase, thanks again for taking the time to speak with us here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Josh.
Well, again, like I said, 165-pound national champion of the entire country. I got to ask you here, real up front, just has anything worn off yet? How excited and how pumped have you been to be on this ride? Not even a week ago since you took home the national championship.
I mean, right now it's still sinking in a little bit. I'm still riding that high throughout this week here. Still just getting congratulations left and right. The people I work with and stuff like that now are congratulating me, sending me newspaper articles and clippings, stuff like that. The whole experience in and of itself has just been absolutely surreal. Just trying to soak it all in right now.
So Chase, obviously to get to just the national championship match, you had to go on a run against several of the top performers in the country. Looking back on some of those matches, it looked as though you were able to find a way to stay in control for the majority of them. How are things working across the first and second days in order to put yourself in a position to compete for a national championship?
I think that I wrestled all four of those matches this weekend very similarly. I wrestled how I wrestle. I didn't change much up, and it really paid off. I mean, just staying calm, staying collected, and just consistently trying to score points. At the end of the day, if you outscore your opponent, you win. And how do you do that? You do that by being offensive, and me personally keeping a high motor, right? Wrestling hard, wrestling smart, and just doing all the right things.
Well, then, of course, Chase, we get to the national championship match, going up against a wrestler that you hadn't wrestled before, you didn't have a lot of information on. As far as, again, managing expectations going throughout the entirety of the match, what can you pinpoint as working well in order for you to pick up that victory?
For me, the hardest part about the entire tournament wasn't even the wrestling part. It was the emotional control part, right? It's weddings, it's funerals, it's highs, it's lows, it's nerves, constant nerves, and so like I said, for me, I think the toughest part about the whole weekend was the time between the semifinal match and the finals match. I had to find a big, chunk of time. It was like 4 hours there that I had to kind of die down, relax, like think about something other than wrestling, and that can be hard to do when you're surrounded by the national tournament, But I was able to do that just by hanging out in the hotel room, watching some movies, talking to guys. That was kind of my method to the madness there. As for the championship match, I gave up that first takedown. The guy knew going in probably that I was going to be, pretty offensive, and was going to wrestle him 7 minutes hard. And so, you could kind of tell he was wanting to slow me down a little bit. And so maybe I was moving my feet a little much or something like that when we were tied up. But he was able to get that opening takedown. Kind of caught me off guard a little bit, but was able to jump right back on the horse and keep scoring points. And that's ultimately how I won a national championship.
Well, Chase, of course, it's an even bigger deal that you picked up the win because we were in Cedar Rapids. A lot of Upper Iowa fans were there, but also a lot of Upper Iowa alumni, former national champions themselves, led you guys out onto the mat with the parade of All-Americans. As far as, being a part of this event and then also interacting with those guys, now joining those guys as a national champion, what does that connection to Upper Iowa mean to you?
So this year, specifically was just, one of the best years of my life. Just had so much fun all year round, especially during kind of our alumni welcome back night. During one of our duels, I think it was that weekend of Augustana and SMSU, seeing those guys come back and just hang out with us and talk about the stuff that they did and stories from them. You can see in their faces that they want to try and do it all over again. It's awesome. It's super cool hanging out with those guys, and for them to lead out the Grand March like that, I thought that was incredible.
Well, Chase, congratulations representing Upper Iowa on picking up the national championship at 165, and congratulations on a stellar season. Thanks again for taking the time to speak with us.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I'm Josh McGehee. Go Peacocks.